Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from lASTSTANDGAMERS, and welcome. So today I've got something rather interesting to show you. I've been working on a mining ship. Now we're actually in the nose of the mining ship in what I like to call the drone bay. Now these drones are very similar to some that went up on the workshop a long time ago, and they follow this really cool sort of mini sub sort of thing that's really cool. They've got cargo containers. They're using the Hoverbite block set, and you can see we've got the small micro drills on the front, and I'm using these as the scouts for this larger ship. Then they can also refine some of the smaller resources and return them to this ship as well, so that's another really cool feature. And we've got them docked on the separate little pads, and we also have the doors here. Now if I open this up, you can actually see that there's something blocking there for the moment, and this is because this ship has a rather interesting sort of deployment method. But we'll head outside and I'll show you the exterior. So we'll go through this small maintenance airlock that has some tools and supplies so we can fix the drones up if we need to. And we can open up this other door. We're using my favourite submarine doors. They're just so cool. I mean, they don't have too many practical uses on some ships and stations because of the styling of them. But in my case, I think they work quite well. We've just got some basic cargo bays on both sides here as well, as we continue from this interior. Now, if we hit this back button, we can actually lower the ramp and come out the back. Now, something that's really cool about the ship is the interior feels a lot bigger to me than the ship actually looks. So we've got a large sort of mining craft here. You can see we've got that large drill on the front, and we've got a basic sort of power pack, as well as 3 large cargo containers, as well as the remote control function. So the main ship can be actually crewed, or it can be controlled by an external sort of outpost, or it can even be left to do its own devices on a sensory mining sort of process. But we know that has a few issues, but still it can be very useful. But let's take a look inside. So you've seen the lower deck. I'll take you to the upper deck as well. We'll enter through this rear upper airlock. Now there is a connection through the ship that I'll actually show you. We just need to fit ourselves in through the airlock, seal the door behind us, and open up the inner airlock door. Beautiful, and we can actually go inside here, close that door up behind us, and the first area we have here is the connection between the 2 decks. We've got lower deck below there. You can see that we've got a gravity generator, and that airlock there takes us down to the lower deck that we were just on. Seal that back up, and we'll continue on through here. We've got bedrooms on the left, and we've got a toilet area on the right. So you can see we've got a little basic toilet area for the crew if it's crewed, and we've also got a radar displaying some information, and the beds and some spare lockers. Very cool indeed. And we'll head to the bridge. So now we enter the bridge, we can actually see the main functions of the ship. We'll get behind the control seat and I'll show you how it works. So you've got to imagine that this is happening inside the asteroid. I'll take it in the asteroid in a moment, but I'll just show you out here so it's very clear. So you can see we've got the antennas on there, and we're just going to go through the process. Unlocking the drill, pushing the piston forward. So as that piston goes forward, we can actually turn the rotor on, and we can start rotating the drill. So the idea of this is that the drill rotates up like so, and that clears the lower hangar area so our smaller drones can actually come out. If we go into first person, you can see that the drill's actually being pushed away from us. And then to relock that drill in place, all we have to do is access and turn that block off. And now we access number 5. So number 5, opening them front hatches up. You can see the front hatches are opened up, and we have our drones ready to deploy. So we can deploy them automatically by accessing them on our remote clip. So we can access that, and then we just need to find the cyber brain, control the cyber brain, access the camera, and you can see we've got control of this now. So if I actually access F8 as well, we should be able to see the exterior and as these guys deploy. So I've disengaged the landing gear and F9, and we can just bring that little ship out. So you can see here we have full control over it. We can also set this to a remote control function where it'll automatically launch these drones out of these ports, and they'll begin exploring the area as well. So I just thought that'd be a really cool little function to have. You can see there he's going off to have a mess around. A little bit confused at the moment. It seems to be going the wrong way. So now we've seen how it's supposed to work, let's have a go at digging into this asteroid here and see if we can get a similar sort of effect. So we're going to access our drill and turn it on with a 6, and we should be able to drive straight through this asteroid itself. So we'll add a bit of friction here and just push on the hole. We'll give it a right click to help it out, I think, here as well. Get it boosting it through. And there we go, we're starting to dig through that hole. We've got to stay nice and straight, and then the rest of the ship should fit in behind it nicely. It's going to be a tight fit, but this sort of design is always tends to be quite tight. So we just need to keep a nice straight line through the asteroid. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually access F8. We're going to fly inside the asteroid itself. So you can see we're stuck in there, the drill's on. And I'm going to deploy the drill. So we'll start by turning the piston on. So the piston should power up. And we should start digging through that. There we go, you can see there's a little bit of shake on the piston. But pistons are always a little bit crazy. So we've got to learn to accept that. So now we can start rotating the drill up as well. So we'll turn number 3 on. And then we hit number 4. So the hinge should actually start turning with the inside. So we're creating a catacomb in here that our ships can actually deploy through. So there you go, rotate up. Now the final stage, we'll be pressing number 5 and opening up the inner part of the ship. So 5, hatches should open up. Now drones are ready to deploy. So we'll actually shut off that drill now so it stops moving around and causing any more problems. Drill is off and we can deploy our first little mining drone. So let's deploy miner 1. Let's access his remote control mining brain. Control. And let's see if we can actually get a nice view of him coming out. There we go. And hit number 9. Landing gears off. And there we go. Straight out of that little hatch and he can begin exploring. So now that we've actually deployed this guy, he could actually start building smaller little catacombs off, looking for them more important resources, especially when you've got an asteroid that's absolutely full of rock. These are perfect for making them little catacombs towards the more important resources like gold, nickel, magnesium and cobalt. So you can see he's just off down the side, making his own little tunnel towards his objective. And they're just cool, they're very fast. You can see as if we change our spectator camera over, as he makes his little mining tunnel through. Just look at that. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, he's changed angle a little bit, he's going down. They're almost like little worms. They're so cool and so small, they're like submarines. Look at that. So he's now arriving back at his pod area. Let's sink him back in. And we'll just drive him in through this way. Make it a little bit faster. Seal that door up. Yep, he's not catching anything. And all we have to do now is land him up on his little landing pad on the inside. We'll switch camera so you can actually have a look at that as well. 9 and back to his control. Rotate this bad boy back around and land him on his little pad so he can be used again on another mining venture. Lower him down and lock in place. Perfect. So a little bit of a zoom out. We'll disengage this drone's controls. We'll shut the doors with a 5. So our drones no longer actually need to mine in there, and then we'll switch the hangar hinge back down. So that's as simple as pressing number 4. The hinge is going to come back down. We'll access number 6, so in case it gets actually stuck on anything, the drill itself. Okay, that's lowering down well, and we'll retract the piston in. So the final stage is bring that piston back in. Now you'll see the ship actually starts to shift if there's too much momentum in the piston itself. So bring that back nice and fine, and a little bit of play with the number 3 key will normally level off that quite fast. And as that comes into position, you'll see the mag locks light up. So that is the mining ship that I've been messing around with. I've been trying it out in a few different configurations. You can see actually how tight it actually fits in this hole. The measurements on building this thing were really precise. You can see how there's just enough space around it so it can actually fit in. We'll move to the front and have a look at the drill. And you see that catacomb it's made by lifting that hinge up. Just enough space to build these little tunnels so the smaller ships can go and get them more important resources that might be deeper within the asteroid when you don't want to collect all the material. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you